Whatever you do, do not buy a new car. Do not buy a new car. You need to listen to this now. So starting in 2027, every single vehicle is going to be equipped with this AI technology that's going to be able to read your face, your eyes, and listen to every conversation you have. They just passed a law, and it's going to start in 2027. Doesn't matter, what vehicle you're looking at. This is going to have this technology in it. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to read your face and scan your face. And if you happen to look like you are looking away from the road, or if it may think that you're impaired, it's going to shut the car off immediately. Or it will not allow your car to start, for one. But if you are driving and let's say you look away from the windshield for 5 seconds, you're looking at, scenery or whatever the case may be, it's going to immediately deactivate your vehicle, and it's not going to restart it for X amount of hours. It's also going to have technology that listens to your conversation. Now, if you're having a conversation that may be a little controversial to what the law may think, it's going to automatically alert the police that this conversation is, let's say, of high alert. What it's then going to do is send that little conversation, that script, immediately to the local police department, whatever police department is closest to the vehicle, and the police are then going to go through that footage, and they could be knocking on your door. So I think that this is absolutely ridiculous, very scary, extremely controlling. I mean, if you think that what they're doing now is controlling, this is hitting another level. Therefore, if you're looking to buy a new vehicle in the next 6 to 10 months, I highly recommend you look at vehicles 26 and below, because you're riding a really thin line if you purchase a vehicle in 2027. It's going to make the market, I believe, the car market tank. This is extremely scary, extremely intrusive. And like I said, the bill has already been passed by Trump. So just another thing that we have to look out for. Our country is becoming controlling. They are controlling every part of our entire existence, and they're doing it so quickly. They're just hitting all areas of our life, and they're taking away every ounce of freedom that we have. Chime in. Let me know your thoughts on this.
Every day it feels like the line between public safety and total visibility gets a little thinner. If you look around your local neighborhood, you've probably noticed a quiet explosion of automated license plate readers tracking every vehicle's movement. At the same time, the automotive industry is shifting toward vehicles that function as rolling computers, packed with driver monitoring sensors that track your focus and gather telemetry data. For everyday Americans, this trend isn't just about safety anymore. It's about a growing sense that our daily routines are being packaged, monitored, and increasingly stripped of the simple freedom to just be left alone on the open road.
Flock cameras are not just crime deterrents. They are watching you, they are logging you, even if you do not commit a crime. They have systems that log your license plate, your vehicle details, the time that you were there, the location. They can catalog your make, model, color, bumper stickers, roof racks, even visible damage to your vehicle down to scratches and dents. And then they store that data in searchable databases used by police and other three-letter agencies across the country. That is not just crime prevention. That is mass surveillance being marketed to us as safety. Well, don't do crime and you'll be okay. You are thinking way too small. You are quite literally still inside of the box. You trust the government with a permanent surveillance network? Freedom means being left alone by the state unless you have actually done something, not being tracked just in case. And something that absolutely baffles me is the fact that the CEO of flock safety has already compared people exposing the camera locations and criticizing these systems to terrorists and Antifa. That should alarm everyone. That is how civil liberties get eroded. First, by labeling dissent as dangerous, then by expanding surveillance in the name of security, right? And before I show you what a flock looks like, let's talk about my own city. If these cameras are just harmless crime deterrents, why is Louisville, Kentucky fighting so hard to keep their location secret? Louisville has deployed over 200 plus city-owned flock cameras, and police also have access to hundreds more shared cameras from businesses, HOAs, universities, other entities across Jefferson County. Around 600 cameras total that the government can tap into. Metro officials and LMPD have refused to publicly disclose exact camera locations. Earlier this month, Louisville Metro Council voted down a proposal that would have required the city to publish these locations online. They love to say, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't care. Okay, uno reverse. If you're not doing anything wrong, why do you care that we want to know where they are? Why are you hiding the cameras? I live in the West End, so I'm actually going to walk you to the flock closest to my neighborhood so that you can see what mass surveillance looks like right here at home. Okay, so this is a flock camera at the corner of Dixie Highway and Dumenil Street in Louisville. Most people drive past this and never think twice, and that's the point. Surveillance works best when it feels normal and when it feels invisible. We're told not to worry about facial recognition or expanded tracking, but we have no proof that they won't do that or that they haven't already. The issue isn't just what they claim that the cameras do today, it's what these systems can become once the infrastructure is already everywhere. Flock cameras reduce crime, police reduce crime. You know what else guarantees reduced crime? Paying people enough to survive instead of poverty wages. Housing and rent prices that don't keep people paycheck to paycheck. Healthcare that people can actually afford. Education that creates opportunity for young adults, treatment for addiction and mental health, the kind of stability that keeps people from desperation in the first place. They would rather monitor poverty than end it. Oh, well, there's no expectation of privacy in public. Being seen in public is not the same as having your movements logged, stored, analyzed, retraced, all to be sold to a private surveillance network. We recognize that persistent tracking can become harassment or stalking when individuals do it. So why is mass automated tracking suddenly acceptable when these corporations and the government does it? It's weird.
I've seen a few posts about this and I wanted to comment on it because I have a personal experience with it. It isn't something that's happening in the future, it's something that's happening now. I rented a car in Europe, and as the woman handed me the car keys, she said, this is a brand new car. And she was like super excited about it. She was like, it's 2026. It's a brand new car. And I was like, awesome. No one's had a chance to like fart or smoke in it. This will be great. And I'd driven it for a day or two, and I was getting on a highway. It was a 6-lane highway. And all of a sudden the gas stopped working, and I'm pressing on the gas. I can't get the car to go. So the car is dinging. It's making all this noise and I can't figure out what's going on. And I look at the dashboard, and in English, it says, sit up straight. We can't find your eyes. Why do you need to see my eyes? That was my first thought. And I'm short, so I sit low in the seat. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I'd been driving a while and I'd kind of slouch down more instead of sitting upright. And when I sat upright, the gas would work once again. And so I pressed the gas, but I was slowing down enough that it was going to cause a traffic hazard. And the thing is, it knew I wasn't asleep because I was pressing on the gas. So it knew I was awake. It just wanted to see my eyes. So once I sat upright and leaned forward, I guess it did facial recognition. And then it says, may I send you these results to a third party? To which I said, no, you may not. No. Who is the third party? First of all, who's watching me drive the car to begin with? Secondly, who is the third party you're sending it to? And lastly, it is so dangerous. There are so many scenarios where losing control of the gas can put a car in a very dangerous situation. Like, what if I was pulling out in front of a semi-truck? What if I was going over a railroad track? And the absolute worst part is the argument for this is to combat sleepy drivers. And the truth is, if you fall asleep while you're driving, you're not going to be pushing down all the way on the gas. You're going to let up. You're going to relax. No one keeps their foot pointed while they're asleep. And if they say, well, what about cruise control? Then just take off cruise control. Disable cruise control in cars. That's the solution. Not, I need to see your eyeballs for the car to work. There's so many dangerous implications for this. But even if you're using it just for the good implication, you know, sleepy drivers, we need to see eyeballs at all times, it's still wrong. It's still a stupid idea.
The more they try to force us to integrate technology into every aspect of our lives, to include our vehicles so that they can monitor us and the way that we drive, the more analog I want to go with everything. And I'm absolutely here for it. I'm ready for it as a Gen Xer. Take me back. Let's go.
We just don't need your nonsense. No, thank you.
So we're currently awaiting the rollout of a terrifying upgrade to surveillance tech in cities across the United States. Flock Safety, the police technology company, is rolling out a new and troubling product, the detection of human distress via audio. Flock has been promoting Raven, their version of acoustic gunshot detection. These devices capture sounds in public places and use machine learning to try to identify gunshots and then alert police. We say try because these mics often misinterpret car backfires and fireworks as gunshots. Now these microphones apparently will be alerting police whenever they detect what the machine believes to be human voice in distress. It's unclear how this tech even works. It's also unclear how these devices will be interacting with state eavesdropping laws that limit listening to or recording the private conversations that often occur in public places. Gunshot detection technology is dangerous enough as it is. Police showing up to alerts they think are gunfire only to find children playing with fireworks is a recipe for innocent people to get hurt. And this is not a hypothetical. In Chicago, a child really was shot at by police who thought they were responding to a shooting thanks to a shot spotter alert. Introducing a new feature that allows these Raven microphones all over cities to begin listening to human voices in distress is likely to open up a whole new can of legal, civil liberties, and even bodily safety consequences. Cities now have one more reason to cancel their flock contracts before this new feature violates civil liberties and puts people in real danger.
So your vehicles will now be spying on you, and not just spying on you with video and audio surveillance, but they're going to be sending out information to local police departments. They're going to be sending out information to your car insurance company, telling them how fast you drive, how fast you go around corners, or how often you hit the brakes heavily so that they can raise the rates of your insurance. And if you don't believe that, here's just a few proofs. In 2021, the U.S. government passed legislation that by 2027, all of this information, all of this technology must be in all vehicles sold in America. And as you can see over here, it is already being done. It's already being implemented. Folks, you're now being spied on by your own car. Welcome to America. Late stage capitalism at its finest. And you know how these companies are working together? Because they're all owned by the same three companies. The car companies and the insurance companies and the tech companies are all owned by BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. You're welcome.
If you all have heard about flock cameras, I want to show you. This is a flock camera. You can see the little flock logo, the solar panel thing. That is what a flock camera looks like. And here it is from a different angle. These things are reading license plates and recording the data and sending it to your local police department. So if you see anything like this popping up, there's another one over there. There's one right down the street here. Just know those are flock cameras.
Many new cars have this feature that I'm going to call the Eye of Sauron. This is a driver monitor system that watches your eyes to see what you're looking at, if you're paying attention, all of that. To make things even worse, you can't truly fully disable this. You can disable some of the warnings, but it'll always be watching you. You pair that with the fact that the automakers also have your GPS coordinates at all times. And now you can see why I call this the Eye of Sauron. They're always watching. And finally, this version's very easy to see, but automakers are looking to maybe put some driver monitors up in this area, hide it in the dash, maybe somewhere in the steering wheel. In the future, you won't be able to tell that your car has it, so maybe it's time to buy an old car.
You're going to want to listen to this. Do not scroll. Give me 2 minutes of your time. This is super important. I made a video on this the other day and it didn't pop off, so I'm going to reiterate this to TikTok because everybody needs to know. They are putting E15 in our gas stations. What E15 is, basically, it's ethanol, which is basically derived from corn. When that is put into your gas tank and it reacts with the heat from your engine and your gas lines, it turns to sludge. What that's going to do to older cars is turn everything to sludge, and it's going to eat away at your engine, your gas lines, everything in months. It's going to cause your car to break. So my belief and my thoughts behind all of this is they're trying to get all of us to have issues with our vehicles in order to buy brand new vehicles, 2027 models, with this AI facial and behavioral recognition. Now, what that's going to do is basically they're going to be able to track, and they're going to be able to decide for us when they want our vehicles to completely shut down, shut off, and stop. They're going to be at the control, not us. Now, if you haven't heard, Advanced Auto Parts, one of the biggest suppliers of aftermarket parts for cars, where you can go get some oil, get some parts for your car for cheap, go ahead and fix it in your driveway, just like most of us do. They are closing 700 stores in the U.S. There's this whole governmental fight going on right now to close down all of these auto parts stores. They're trying to pin us against a wall so that they can have full control over everything that we do. Now, also, if you haven't heard, California just passed a law. If you live in California, please listen up, where they're going to be able to geo-fence and track your vehicle, basically putting a perimeter around it. And with this AI recognition that's going to be controlling your car, and if you live in California with this geofencing, it's going to be able to basically tell your car where the government wants it to go, park it, turn off your car, and the police will show up. If it senses that you're doing anything dangerous in the vehicle, whether it be drinking alcohol, you're drunk, you're having behavioral issues, this is very scary, and I want everybody to be aware that we're at the point in time now where we are going to have E15 in every gas station across America. It is going to, in turn, ruin engines, therefore forcing hundreds of thousands of vehicles to go to the junkyard. You're going to be forced at some point down the road, whether you buy a 2027 in 27 or you buy a 2027 model in 2035. It's all eventually going to push its way out. They're going to push out all of the older vehicles so that you are completely controlled by the government. You know, with this geofencing that they're starting, don't think that that's not going to wind up going to other states. They have the flock cameras. They have the AI recognition and behavioral recognition. You know, this is getting out of control. It takes away our First Amendment rights in every way, and I'm sick and tired of this. So you guys have to be aware, alert. The only thing I can say, which it's not really going to do anything, is try to put some additives in your gas tank to clean out your gas lines. I would say once every 2 or 3 fill-ups if you can afford it. But there's a major domino effect going on here, and you guys have to start pinning everything together. They think that they are smarter than us, and that there's nothing that we're going to be able to do. We're going to be at their beck and call. This is going to be really bad. Also, if you haven't noticed, mechanics. It's going to be lost cause in a matter of a few years. There are going to be so many shops that are closed down because they're not going to have the proper computers, A, training, B, or knowledge to or accessibility to fix these newer vehicles. You're going to have to take them to dealerships, and they're going to charge you multiple thousands of dollars, and they're probably going to charge you more because there's going to be no other option to go anywhere else. So if you haven't connected the dots, please start paying attention, start doing some research in this side of things, because 2027 is going to be here soon, and we're all going to be in a whole different situation. It's going to get bad.
What's up, America? Do not buy a new car, because starting 2027, every new car in the United States will be required by law to have tech that puts constant surveillance on the driver. Not only watching you, but listening to your conversations as well. And if the vehicle determines that you're a danger on the road, it will turn your car off. So by 2027, the law states, quote, every new passenger vehicle sold in the United States must include technology that constantly monitors the driver via AI, cameras, and sensors, and can automatically shut down or limit the car if the system decides you're not sober or fit to drive. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is creating new federal motor vehicle safety standards requiring, quote, advanced impaired driving prevention technology powered by AI tools and systems. They state that the technology must now passively monitor the driver at all times. If the system detects a problem, it can prevent the car from starting or limit its speed and operation while driving. So let's say you're not f***ed up and you just decide to close your eyes and stretch. Does it think you're up and it'll stop the vehicle while you're driving? The law states that this is not a remote government kill switch, but the decision happens on board via AI and sensors. So basically, whatever technology they put in there, it's a government kill switch. Now, older cars obviously will be unaffected, but cars 2027 or after will all have this shit. So a lot of people say that this is government overreach, and later on, these tools will be used against the average driver, especially if it taps into your conversations and the government gets a hold of those conversations and finds out what you're talking about politically. Or at least that's the fear coming up in the future. Now you might understand why data centers are going up all over the country, everywhere, because everything you do is going to be monitored coming up here, every single thing.
So see that one? That's a security cam. That right there is a flock cam.
Fully support the use of flock cameras. I think it'll not reduce crime.
The flock cam is AI, photographing and remembering. It will take pictures and videos of your vehicle, right? And it'll log you at this time, at this place, blah, 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 blah. The flock cam goes to a private company. I think it's 90,000 nationwide and 9,000 a DFW. Those little guys watch you and tag you everywhere you go. So it just tagged me now. Even though I don't have a license plate, it's still going to put me down in memory in this spot. So now when I go over to the next cameras, which we're going to go a little ways in, those cameras will ping me as well. And then this private company is going to know I was here and went to there and was pointing at their cameras. Flock safety, 24/7 recording. So see, they're getting you when you come in, they're getting you when you leave. Also, the website that we're using just to look up the cameras, the owner of these cameras, the dude that owns the company, he tried to say that it was terrorism. That us knowing where these cameras are on a website is terrorism.
And then unfortunately there's terroristic organizations like DFLOC, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else.
On what planet is us knowing where these companies' cameras are that are logging our everyday life, does this guy get to say that us knowing where this camera is, like I just found it because of the map, how's it terrorism for me to know where this camera is? That just seems sus, right?
What we are seeing isn't just an upgrade in technology, it's a systemic shift in how everyday life is monitored and monetized. From private surveillance networks storing public vehicle data to automakers sharing driver behavior metrics with insurance corporations, the modern ecosystem treats your privacy as a commodity. Meanwhile, as independent auto parts stores face challenges and newer vehicles become too complex for the average driveway mechanic, the option to remain analog is slowly being squeezed out. Instead of investing in the root causes of community instability, like living wages, affordable housing, and accessible healthcare, our systems are choosing to fund permanent tracking networks. It leaves working-class people feeling caught in a framework that wants to watch everything they do while offering less material stability in return. Are you noticing more of these automated tracking systems popping up in your hometown? And how do you feel about the direction new vehicle technology is heading? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.